Hey, welcome back to the show. My name is Andre. This is Yep, I Said It. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Today, I want to talk about Nikki the Warhawk Haley. Vivek Ramaswamy has been hammering at this old hag, man. This woman is just what she talks about, a warmonger. She never stopped talking about war. She very seldom talks about the American people. And Vivek's been putting her in her place. And that's great. This is very clear. If you're paying attention, it's very crystal clear that Nikki Haley is just concerned about war. And she definitely is getting paid for military contracts. That's been confirmed. So, if someone's voting for Nikki Haley, just know that you're voting for endless wars. Okay. I want you to take a look at some of these clips I pulled. And also, I want you to take a look at some of the clips I pulled from Vivek just hammering at her and saying what a lot of American people really, really want to say.
I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth.
You're just
the easy answer is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app. We got to go further. We have to ban any U.S. company actually transferring U.S. data to the Chinese. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, got a $5 million bribe from Ukraine. That's why we're sending $200 billion back to that same country. The fact of the matter is the Republican Party is not that much better. You have the likes of Nikki Haley, who stepped down from her time at the UN. Bankrupt or in debt was her family. Then she becomes a military contractor. She joins the board of Boeing and otherwise, and is now a multimillionaire. So I think that that's wrong when Republicans do it or Democrats do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case, we've got two of them on stage tonight.
Ramaswamy, thank you.
Iran is the #1 state sponsor of terrorism. And when they say death to Israel, they say death to America. This war affects us as well.
Well, you heard Senator Warner also saying that he thinks a number of you on the debate stage were ready to go to war with Iran or do exact strikes on their actual soil, something a lot of people think would lead to a much broader regional war, if not something worse like World War III. What do you say to those who, I saw the headlines this week. The Republicans seem very interested in going to war with Iran.
It's quite the contrary. A strong America doesn't start wars. A strong America prevents wars. What we're trying to do is prevent further war. And I dealt with Iran every day at the United Nations. What they do is they lie, they exaggerate, and every dollar they get goes to terrorism. The focus we need to have is right now you've had almost 100 strikes on our men and women in the military in Iraq and Syria. That's unforgivable. Remember, when we hit
Y'all smell the dollar signs? I can smell the dollar signs, okay? She sounds like she had a plan all along, okay? Yeah, these people want endless wars, bro. They don't want to stop the wars. You don't stop a war by continuing to go to war. That doesn't even make any damn sense, okay? But like Vivek said, this woman feels dumber every single time she has to talk to him. And she does. She is dumb. Sorry.
Soleimani, it flat-footed Iran. They respond to strength. Iran has always backed off when they realize America is serious. And so us having the backs of Israel is hugely important. Us having the back of Ukraine is important because you've got an unholy alliance of China, Russia, and Iran all trying to intimidate us and intimidate our friends. Don't fall for it. The one thing that all of them fear is...
Look, this woman sounds like an instigator, okay? That's what she sounds like. She's paranoid that these people are, they're trying to intimidate us. I want you to pay attention to the last couple of minutes of her little spiel here when she talks about how Trump brings a lot of drama with him. Okay. Says the person advocating for World War III right in your face.
Is when we have an alliance that's strong and that we stand by.
There are a lot of growing questions about whether the U.S. and its military specifically can be stretched in all of these different directions with all of these different potential conflicts. The New York Times raises questions. We continue to hear about weapons inventory not only for ourselves, but our allies and those we're trying to help. They say this: guided munitions and more complex American systems are being funneled to both the Israel and Ukraine conflicts, even as American partners in the Indo-Pacific wait for weapons deliveries of their own. The Center for Strategic and International Studies warns that we are so low on some munitions and missiles, it would take years for us to get back and replenish those. So what would it take for you as president to rebuild our weapons base, to get those deliveries to folks like Taiwan who are waiting on them, and more broadly, to get us out of these foreign conflicts?
The number one job of a president is to protect Americans. And keep in mind that any of the resources that are spent on Ukraine and Israel is typically, we're giving them the older ammunition. We're giving them our older equipment. And so we're replenishing it with new. That's a good thing. But we also want to look and see what our stockpiles look like. Where are we low? What are we going to need going forward? And focus more on that. Keep in mind that the amount of money being spent on Israel and Ukraine is less than 5% of our defense budget. So
it's just a little bit, guys. Don't worry. It's not going to really hurt that bad if you vote for me. It's not going to cost you that much money. As if the American people have not paid enough money of our tax dollars going to Ukraine for Joe Biden's laundering scheme. You know, these people are sick, bro. They just think that people aren't paying attention again. So Nikki Haley is going to keep pushing her war agenda because that's how she gets paid. OK, that's how she gets paid by the government. That's through her contracts. This woman is the worst of the worst, bro.
This is about priorities. We need to, one, secure the border. We need to make sure we have the backs of Ukraine, and we need to have the backs of Israel. But focus on who's supporting who. It is interesting that the Taiwanese, they want the West to help Ukraine. Why? Because they know if Ukraine wins, then China won't invade Taiwan and we won't have to deal with that. There's a reason that, the Ukrainians want us supporting Israel. Why? Because they know if Iran wins, Russia wins, and they don't want to do that. Everybody else sees this unholy.
Think about your average voter, man. The average person voting and what they're voting for. What do they want to hear? Nikki Haley clearly doesn't understand that. OK, she clearly doesn't care about inflation. She's a multimillionaire. OK, she's trying to figure out a way to get more of your tax dollars. OK, to send them overseas. And not only that, on top of that, she wants to send your sons and daughters to war. OK, I want you to understand what she's talking about here, because it's very clear that she doesn't care about American people. Out of all this conversation, she has only mentioned the border one time. She hasn't mentioned anything else about inflation, the cost of anything. She is so excited to have a war. She doesn't know what to do with herself. OK, that's her agenda. That's it. Plain and simple, is to defend Israel, send money to Ukraine, give them weapons. That's all you hear. The average person don't care about none of that. We don't want to be in war. OK, the average person understands it costs a lot of money to do that. But she don't care. She gonna keep on pushing her agenda so that she can get paid.
The alliance, except for Americans. Americans have their head in the sand. If we do this right in Ukraine and Israel, we won't have to deal with China. China's watching every bit of it, and they fear America that stands by her friends.
Well, Americans, the polling shows, are growing weary of all of these different incursions around the world that we're being drawn into. And they are looking, in many cases, according to the polling, to a commander-in-chief who would pull them out of many of those. And I know that that's just part of the argument about the 2020.
Yeah, she doesn't care about none of that pulling out. No, she wants to send them in. OK, that's what she wants. The more war, the more money. That's how this works, guys. That's exactly how this works. OK, why else would she get up here and just talk about war 24/7? OK, that's her selling point to the American people. For all those war heads out there who don't mind sending their kids to war. OK, when they don't even understand why they're doing it. Why are they investigating Joe Biden right now? Why are they subpoenaing Hunter Biden right now? Why? Because they're guilty of money laundering the tax dollars. That's how they got rich. OK, she's a part of the same establishment that Joe Biden's a part of. OK, that's who we want out of the office. We don't want people back in the office like her. Pay attention.
for field. I want to get to that because the New York Times had a piece about you. Actually had some nice things to say, which you might find surprising, but they had a long list of things they say have to happen if you're to win the nomination, the GOP nomination. We're going to scroll those on the screen. I'll just read a few of them. You need more money for TV ads. Donors have to give up on other candidates. Candidates have to drop out for New Hampshire. You have to flip people. It goes on and on and on. It's sort of in the vein of saying, so you're saying there's a chance. If all these things don't align for you, how long will you stay in and fight?
It's so ridiculous. We are surging in the polls. Not only are we surging in the polls, if you look in the swing states, it shows that we beat Biden by 10 to 13 points. We are now second place in...
Bro, this is all set up, okay? Beating Joe Biden by 13 points. I mean, anybody, my grandmother is no longer alive, and she could beat Joe Biden by 100 points, okay? So miss me with all the bull crap, okay? All right, this woman is a warmonger, and the only people that are voting for her are probably military veterans who love to send their kids to war. Okay, following after mom and dad's footsteps. Those are people who are voting for Nikki Haley. Okay, average American is not voting for this crazy lunatic. Okay.
Iowa, second place in New Hampshire, second place in South Carolina. There are no other candidates that are going to be getting in the race because now it's gotten too late. We have plenty of money that we're going to be on TV with, and you're going to see that we're going to be strong, not just...
We have plenty of money that we're going to be on TV with. Sounds like she's trying to buy her way into office, okay? These people think money is more important than American people. That's the problem that we have here. That's the exact, they choose money over us. That's why she'll never be president. Okay. And if she does become president for some miraculous reason, we're going to go to World War III, bro. Okay. That's what's going to happen because you don't fund all these wars unless you have an intention on keep on going to war. They don't need Nikki Haley if she can't promote a war. You understand? She's useless. Otherwise, to them, she's useless if she can't promote war, bro.
Just in Iowa. We're going to be strong in Iowa. We're going to be strong in New Hampshire. We're going to be strong in South Carolina because we spent our money well. We've got great ground games in every one of those states, and we're going to keep surging. You've got Trump that's flatlined. You've got DeSantis that's falling in the polls, and we continue to go up.
What the hell poll is she looking at? Trump ain't flatlined nowhere. He's beat him like he's smoking these people by double digits, okay? It's not even funny. Okay, again, 70-some million people voted for Trump. You're not just going to shut those people up, bro. These people better stop playing, man.
And we've had a great, last debate. We raised $1 million in 24 hours past the debate, and we're going to go work hard to earn every Iowan, every Granite Stater, and every South Carolinian vote because we have a country to save.
Well, let's talk about a little bit of the realities.
We have a country to save. No, she believes that we got a country to send to war. That's what they don't care about nothing else, bro. Okay? There's only one agenda for her, and that's the one that she keeps talking about. She can't shut her mouth about, okay? These people are absolutely ridiculous, man. I can't believe that we allow these people to creep up in there and we're not holding the people accountable. It's unbelievable. We really have got to drain the swamp, bro. All right. I don't care what nobody says. We're going to drain the swamp for real, man. My kid's future is at stake. How about yours? All right.
So, I mean, President Trump is up 30 to 40 points in most polls out there on the entire rest of the field.
Facts.
Governor DeSantis picked up Governor Reynolds' much coveted endorsement in Iowa, along with a number of other leaders there. He now has the highest favorables in the GOP field in Iowa, including President Trump. And then this headline from The Hill yesterday, it says Trump's massive lead in polls deals blow to the rival's electability case. They talk about polls from New York Times, CNN, CBS News, Emerson, all showing President Trump leading President Biden in a head-to-head matchup. You do better in those polls, but how do you convince primary voters to abandon somebody who is up by 30, 40 points when this argument about him being able to beat
She can't. That's the answer. She can't. She can't convince anybody to vote for her, okay?
President Biden is in many of these polls being muted.
Well, I think, first of all, I think certainly Trump has some strong support. I've always said he was the right president at the right time, and I agree with a lot of his policies. The problem is drama and chaos follow him, whether fairly or not.
Drama and chaos follow him. That's what she said about Trump. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, this chicken head is warmongering at the highest level, okay? The chaos is at the highest level. They want to start World War III, okay? That's what she's talking about, okay? But she says that Trump has too much drama. I take the guy with the drama that is calling out the establishment. I'll take that kind of drama over her kind of drama where we could possibly get into a nuclear war. You feel me? What kind of drama would you rather have, American voter?
It is constantly following him, and Americans feel it. And so I think you can look at that with our elections over and over again. We pay the price for it. And I think what's really important is we need to have someone who can win the general election as well. We need to make sure that we have a new conservative leader. Republicans have lost the last 7 out of 8 popular votes for president.
Because of people like you, Nikki Haley. That's why. Because people like you who have their own agenda, who don't put America first, and who frankly doesn't really care about anything but going to war. That's all we hear you talking about. Don't you understand that? Have you listened to yourself on TV? Did you listen to your talking points? They're all about war, honey. That's it. We don't hear anything else. Okay. We don't hear about the fentanyl. We don't hear about the border much. We don't hear much about nothing. The crime rate here, right in the United States of America, little children shot down in these horrible liberal cities. We don't hear about none of that. I don't hear anybody talking about that. Vivek actually went to Chicago at the barbershop. You done anything like that? No, you haven't. Okay. All right. So sit your crazy ass down. You'll never get my vote. That's for sure. And I don't know anybody else that would actually vote for you. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Until the next time. Peace.